Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Nosana. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. So I want to take a look at the CoinMarketCap page before we jump into the price action chart. And I wanted to show you the current market cap. It's a $170 million project. The price is sitting at $3.53, and there has been quite a spike since the start of October. Now the total supply is 100 million tokens, and we've got 48% out in circulation, which is very good. Now this is an open source computing marketplace dedicated to AI inference. Now we've covered this project on, I believe, one of our streams. And we also covered this in great detail on Patreon. Not only that, we got into this project at $1.50-ish in September. So this was September 15th, somewhere over here. And then we started dollar cost averaging as we went up and as we went down. And we're currently up, I believe, around 75 to 85% on our Patreon entry. And this is why we suggest you get into the Patreon with the 7-day free trial and take a look at everything we've got there. So let's take a look at the daily chart first. Now on the daily, we have a really good looking chart. Let's try to identify some support levels. So we have a major support level over here from February 2024. We retested that 2 times in August 2024, obviously a few months ago. We had a double bottom pattern here with the target being taken out, I believe. If we just double check this pattern here, there we go. And now let's take that. Yeah, so the target was perfectly met on that double bottom. We retraced with a higher low from the August low, and we printed a higher high. And then once again, if you want to count like this local low as the low, you could also count this as your higher low, your high, your higher high, and once again a higher high. So once we start coming back down, that is supposed to be your entry, and hopefully it does come back down. Hopefully it does retrace. This is not where you want to be getting into this project. Like I said, we started buying over here at roughly $150. So I believe we got in 150 something on September 15th, and we got in on gate.io. So I'm not sure if the chart is not as low as it was there, but then we got in at 180. We bought more tokens at $2 and so on and so forth. But I'm very bullish on this project. It's a Solana. It was a Solana low cap. Now it's just going into a $200 million area for the market cap. And if we identify this area here of confluence, so you can see there's lots of touches in 2024 from this specific area, from this specific block, and we can set up that as a potential support moving forward. This is going to be between $3.27 all the way down to $2.70. We've had multiple bounces in June, July, and then over here we broke above it very, very quickly. And if we're going to be coming back down, you want to pay attention to the 20 EMA on the daily chart. That is going to be your support trend line. Now on the daily RSI, we are in the overbought, as you can see. So this is another indicator that is telling us you have to wait before you buy. You have to wait until the price cools down. So anywhere within the realms of this block, I would say you can start building your position, but don't go all in. Of course, none of this is financial advice. And before we continue with the video, I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreon. If you're interested in getting more exclusive content, you want to support me as a creator, and you like what you're seeing here on YouTube and you want more, feel free to check out the Patreon. That's definitely a place for you. There's a 7-day free trial, which means you can get access to all of my content since the inception of the page. So that means you get podcasts, low cap gems, technical analysis, project reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. We try to do posts there on a daily basis. We cover airdrops and a lot of stuff that we don't really cover on YouTube because we don't have as much time. And of course, because patrons get more stuff and more content And if you're interested in that, the link is down below in the description. Thank you all. Let's continue on with the video. And before we take a look at the weekly chart, I quickly want to mention that there is a mainnet launch that will be happening for Nosana on January 15th, 2025. And we could have this rally continue all the way up until that mainnet launch. And it could be sell the news type of event. We don't know. But hopefully that's not going to be the case. Regardless, we can still make money within these 3 months before we get to the mainnet launch. You can definitely take some profits before that, and you can leave some tokens if you are not afraid of the pullback that might happen on January 15th. So what we have here is some sort of a falling wedge, right? It's very hard to see it, but if you set these up properly, you can see how the pattern is very wide here, and it tightens going down. And we broke out of this, and our target right now is going to be $5, which is the wave 2 top of this 5-wave structure that we were in. And this was a 1, 2, corrective 3, retracement 4, and retracement 2 over there. Then we had our wave 5, which was the bottom of this correction from March 2024, and the total percentage that we went down was roughly 83%. So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Now we're above the 20 EMA. We are running into the 0.618 into the golden ratio once again as resistance. This is a very crucial area on any chart. So once we're able to break above this, I think $4.66 shouldn't be an issue, and that is our 0.786. So once you break above the golden ratio, usually it's a clear path to the local top from the fib. So $6.42 would be our target after we break above $3.62 and after we are able to hold this level as support. Now, ideally what we want to do is we want to retrace a little from here, potentially come back down to $3.03, and we want to print another higher low. That will mean that the EMAs can catch up with the price action on both the weekly and the daily charts, and we can have a healthy uptrend from there, a continuation of the trend, hopefully taking us to $6.42. Will we ever get $1.43? Obviously, I can't answer that question. I don't know. If we do, that is going to be an amazing entry point for all of you and for me as well. And if we start losing $1.43, that is going to be a negative sign. So for example, if we start correcting from here, we have a major crash, we lose that level, come back and retrace to it and retest it as resistance, that is going to be a negative sign. Now, I don't think that's going to be happening. That's not a very likely scenario, but we'll see what happens. Make sure to do your own research into any project before you buy into it. Now let's talk about our targets to the upside long term. So we're sitting at $170 million market cap. A 10x from here would put us at $1.7 billion, and that would be $35. So that would be somewhere in here, somewhere in this area. And that is going to be a very good area to take some profits. So this green block between the 2.272 and the second fib levels, or the extension levels there, that can be a great area to secure some profits. That does not mean you cannot be taking profits along the way. Now we've seen Nosana do extremely well back in 2023. Look at this powerful move from October last year into November. From there, we had another pump into the $8 region. Yeah, something along those lines. But in October 2023, we were just sitting below 2 cents. Think about how crazy this performed, and still the market cap is not that high. There is time to get into this. So I would say anything below $50 is a reasonable expectation. If you're thinking this could get to a $10 billion market cap, that is going to be a little bit too bullish in my opinion. Not saying it's not going to happen, not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying we have to see how this performs. If before the end of the year we're sitting at $40, then by all means, I think in 2025 this is going to be exploding even further up. But if we are going to be underperforming against the entire altcoin market, then of course that should raise some questions as to where you should be taking profits. But that doesn't look like it's going to be the case because Nosana is pumping while the entire market has been on a bit of a retracement. So we're looking at $16.21 as our 1.618 target. That is after you break this local top there. So $16.21. That is that's slightly more than a 3x, I believe. Let's try to check the price out here and the percentage. Yeah, that's a 4.5x or so. So that's not bad. And again, we just got into this project. I don't know what's happening with our Patreon entries. Usually when we get into things, they start pumping. Like we got into SBR earlier in the year. We got into Arkham and all of those started pumping. And hopefully Nosana will be no different. So I give you a few resistance levels on this fib, and we also have a target here, a medium-term target. Long-term target would be around $28 to $30, and that's going to be a pretty strong resistance in my opinion, because these round numbers are usually going to have a lot of people selling, or a lot of selling pressure at those levels. So make sure to set up your limit orders below these round numbers. So always below the resistance, just so that when the price reaches that area, you can immediately get executed with your order while everyone else is going to be piled in on that 30.0000 level, and not everyone's going to be able to get their order filled from there, right? Sometimes we have a quick bounce from $30 and we get sent back down because of the amount of selling pressure. So let's say there's 500 orders at $30. We reach that price for a few seconds, 25 orders get filled, the price bounces back down, and then everyone else is left hanging in there. But if you set up your sell order at, let's say, $29.97, you're going to be much more likely to get your order filled, unlike everyone else who's piled in on $30. So hopefully that makes sense. That's just a little pro tip for you guys when you're setting up your limit orders, whether it's support or resistance. I want to thank you all for watching this video. I do want to take a look at the RSI just before we end here. So the RSI is still sitting very, very low at the index of 58. So once we start getting above 70, that's when we should probably start thinking about at least taking out our initial investments from this project. But as of right now, this thing is still very low. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.